All of us gathered around the pod. The glass was still covered with frost, hiding the contents.
Okay, let's get started then. Ready?
Let's count down. Fi laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us. I swallowed. Yeah, anytime.
Alright, here we go. 3,
2, 1. Oh, for fuck's sake. Whoa, what? Suddenly, my head was full of memories from other timelines. I had seen something like this before. The warehouse of floor B. In front of the white door. Kay was lying in front of me. I grabbed his mask and saw my own face. I'd never figured out who he really was. Why was there a man with my face underneath Kay's armor? It didn't make any sense. After I'd seen him, I was injected with tuberculin, and that was the end of that. But wait. If the person in the pod was the same person I'd seen on the floor of the warehouse, who was wearing Kay's armor?
You finally noticed. Didn't I tell you? You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you.
No. Oh my god, you're...
Yes, I am.
Akane Koroshiki.
What the fuck? I'm so confused.
It's you! June! I mean, Akane, from... But you're old.
Yes, that's correct. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover.
I'm so confused.
Or you, Junpei.
Junpei?
Akane. Long time no see.
Poor Clover. So she recognizes her instantly. I could barely hear what they were saying. My mind was still reeling. It felt like all the air had been knocked out of me, and it was all I could do not to collapse right then and there.
When? How long?
Yeah, good questions, Fi.
Do you remember when the two of you saved me in the warehouse? Once you saved me, you went back to your future. Well, your minds did, at least. I carried your bodies to the 3rd AB room, and then took Dio's to the 5th. After that, I went into the 1st room and borrowed Kay's armor.
So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already...
Yes.
So in this timeline, it's always been her. Oh my god. Oh, on the whole right branch. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Dio killed you. And then Luna took your body to the 6th room. You couldn't have been in Kay's armor. That's in a different timeline, mate.
No, it was me. In this timeline, at least. In this one, I wasn't murdered by Dio. You two saved me.
Why are we not remembering that?
It's just like Schrodinger's cat. Your actions in the future, decided who would be inside the armor in the past.
What? No, that's nuts.
Alright, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved. What happens then? Who's wearing the armor?
That's quite simple. The man in front of you.
Him?
Yeah.
That's correct. Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is.
Yeah.
What about the memory loss?
For my part, I confess that I lied. He, on the other hand, was telling the truth. Large doses of Soporil can cause memory loss. I gave him a rather large dose.
We just like dish out that Soporil like it's candy.
So, who is he?
You've never seen him before?
No.
What?
What about the rest of you?
Well then who are we?
I have no idea who he is.
I've never seen him before.
Me either. Total stranger.
Hey, come on, what are you guys saying? Right here? Same face? Why are they all just looking at me like that?
Are you alright, Mr. Sigma?
Oh my god.
Did you hit your head or something?
Yeah. Huh? What? It didn't make any sense. Why didn't they recognize me?
Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time. You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
What does that mean?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future. From 45 years ago.
So are we old? I looked around frantically. A pond! I ran to it and threw myself down on my knees. Crawling on all fours, I approached the edge. My heart was hammering inside my chest. A cold sweat trickled down my spine. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, damn it. I struggled to take deep breaths. Then slowly, I peered into the pond, looking for my reflection. What? No, this can't be real. This face.
It's your face, Dr. Sigma Climb.
Dr. Sigma Climb.
Although to the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now.
Okay.
Zero, the mastermind of the AB project, is you.
Right, so... Okay. What? No, that's not possible. Well, it is... Hold on. How... You know what? Let's cut... Okay. Right, wait. That's bullshit.
No, it's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
You will be. A pioneer in the field of genetic engineering.
How... hold that thought. You're lying.
No, I'm not. You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him.
Create?
His name is Kyle Klein. Your clone.
Yeah.
That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself. 23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle. Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future.
I was gonna say 23 years ago. How old are we again? That must just be before. Like, how did our consciousness just go from then to blank to now? But in the meantime, did all this. You know what? Hold the thought.
When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him.
Yeah.
The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's. If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that. You gave him that armor. Ever since he was born,
Okay.
he's lived inside of it. It kept his muscles and bones strong. He wasn't forced into it for the Nonary game. He's been wearing it every day, all his life.
Cool. That's an explanation. But why would future me create a clone?
He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place.
Yeah. So that story that we were
I
told.
mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before.
Hold on 1 second, Akane. So he told us that story before. He was actually telling us about us. I need more information.
That isn't all they mean, though. The A also means anima, and the B means body. Anima is another word for the soul or the consciousness. Body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin. The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch.
Past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch. So what? So did old us from this body go into young us from where we got kidnapped? Which we didn't actually get kidnapped, but that memory is our old, like, old can have two meanings. Is our more experienced conscious, is Dr. Us now in our old body before all this?
That was the chief goal of the project.
Wait, so the future person goes into the past person?
Sigma,
That was
do you
a better way of
remember the
putting
note
it.
you found in the garden?
No.
You mean this, right?
Yeah. I do actually.
Ah, of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this timeline.
Yeah.
Sigma, take a good look at this.
I tried looking at this. I don't know what it means.
It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making. A is where everything began. December 25th, 2028. You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness.
Yeah.
From there, you jumped to B. January 25th, 2074.
The start of this game, yeah. Okay, right, I see it now. Then, okay, let's just let her explain.
You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9. You are in your own body, but it is 67 years old.
Can you not feel that?
Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future. I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity. The body you woke up in was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out. Moving on.
Yeah, okay.
If you continue along this line, what happens next? You reach C, which is January 27th, 2074. That is today.
Right, that's right now.
Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten? You were all infected with Radical 6.
Oh, yeah.
The virus slowed your brain down. So yes, 36 hours of real time have passed.
Right.
But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes.
Cool.
Now comes the important part.
The jump back to before. Well, to D, but what is D?
After this, your consciousness will return to the past.
Oh my god.
It will re-emerge at point D. April 13th, 2029.
That's the day that the reactors went off, right?
You will return to your younger body.
Or is that... There's something to do with April 13th.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Yeah.
Yes. That is why I said it will be too late. You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened.
Right. But surely the other person, Dr. Us, will have done something different, right?
The story does not end there, however. The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B.
What?
But this time, you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal.
Oh.
Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body.
Yeah.
until you reach point B.
Yeah.
Do you remember when B is, Sigma?
The start of the game. According to what you just told us, it's 36 hours ago.
Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma.
Yeah.
So where did the older version of you go when you took his body?
Back to our old body. Point A. December 25. Yeah, the day this all started.
Yes.
Yeah.
His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past.
But once that body reaches point D, my 22-year-old consciousness will come back from point C.
That's correct. When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and return to your body at C.
Yeah. So it's rotating?
Rotating. I suppose you could put it that way. But look at this illustration closely. What if you take all these lines and untangle them? You get one single line.
Oh my god.
It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path.
Oh my god.
With one exception.
E. The time where we change things, right? This line here at point E, right?
Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse.
The day Radical 6 got out of the test facility.
Yes. By now, you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A. If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago.
So the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out by jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve in 2028.
Yes. That is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D.
Right.
In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C. And for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility. That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point. So that we might save humankind from destruction.
My brain.
And undo the horrors of the last 45 years.
So it's another case of it all kind of had to happen how it had to happen. Otherwise, it couldn't have happened. Yeah? I think. Because it would have fucked something up. And it wouldn't have been the continuous line loop. Oh my god. Tell me one thing.
What is that?
You said the point C is January 27th, 74, which is today. There's gonna be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th, 29, D.
Yes, that's right.
And then we have to live for 45 years to get back to here. But look, I'm still old. When is this jump supposed to happen?
Very soon.
Soon?
Yes.
And what's gonna trigger it?
We need potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Fortunately, we now have plenty of that. Thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that remains is to launch your consciousness, like a bullet from a slingshot.
And how do you propose to do that?
Didn't I tell you?
Uh-oh.
A crisis.
Oh no.
A moment balanced between life and death. That can jumpstart your brain.
I don't like the sound of that. What do you mean?
You haven't figured it out.
No. Don't kill anyone.
I mean this.
Dio's knife? No sooner were the words out of my mouth. Vi! I screamed and leapt towards them. Akane was already in motion, the knife driving towards Vi's chest. I was almost there. When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. There was a dull pain in my chest. I felt for a cup, but something was in the way. It took me a moment to realize that it was Akane's body lying on top of me. I twisted my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. On it was written a few words in Latin. What you are, I was. What I am, you will be. Ah. Ah. Huh? So why was Fi in the whole thing? Why could Fi jump and stuff like that? I feel so dumb. So what just happened? Oh my god, so right, she was gonna kill Fi to make us jump. We ran and grabbed... Did we... I don't know if we just got stabbed or not. And we were like... reading what it said on the tombstone as if... I don't know what just happened. What? Oh my god, that music scared the shit out of me. So, I need to figure this out, right? What just happened? Like, what just fucking happened? Did it work? Did we jump? Was that the old us? Or like, did we break the loop? What just happened? Oh, for fuck's sake. Fry end. A new destination has been added to the floor chart. Okay, I'm sweating. I am actually sweating. I'm really confused. Okay, we've got all ends. But we've got a new destination on the floor chart. I'm so stressed. Okay, right. You know what? I don't even have time to process anything. Headquarters, April 13th, 29. This is the jump we were just doing, right? But this should be the version of us that has just experienced this game. Right? Oh yeah, this is the catastrophe.
Today is April 13th, 2029, and this is the evening news. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6. So have my... Excuse me.
Oh my god.
I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of tricks.
She's gonna kill herself.
It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague.
She's not gonna kill herself.
Goodbye.
She is gonna kill herself. Oh my god. Wow, that is heavy. Fuck. For a moment I just stared at the TV. The roar of the static seemed to fill the entire room until, with a click, it disappeared too. Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me and turned around. You? Akane?
It looks like the first step was successful.
Oh, hi! First step was successful, which was what we just did. What the fuck? You killed me!
Killed?
That means the old us is dead? That's what happened? Is that what happened? Oh shit. I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still.
Hey, no need to be rude about it.
Well, you're rude. You killed me.
I didn't kill you.
Oh.
I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
Ah. Thank God. Fucking Sigma, so dramatic. Oh, you killed me. You got hit with the butt of a knife, mate. Get over it. I'm okay?
Yes,
How do you know?
you and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Me and Phi?
Yes, I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump.
Yeah, I have questions about that, Missy.
Now, you know what happens next, right?
We wait 45 years, set up everything. We go to the moon?
Correct.
Oh, yeah, there's that as well. I forgot about that part.
We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029.
That's when Tenmyoji went too.
We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions. You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods.
Alice and Clover, right?
Yes,
What about the third one? Who's in there?
Phi. We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen.
Okay.
That wasn't the Phi who jumped from point C, though. It was Phi before she jumped from point A to point D.
So...
In other words, she was following the same path you are.
Huh?
And she still is.
Then that means that after you froze her, the point C version of her jumped back into her body?
Yes. The point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years. Sleeping in ice.
Then when she gets to point B, her consciousness will jump to point A, right? Wait, what? I'm sorry, I read that without taking any of it in. Then when she gets to point B, her consciousness will jump to point A. What? Yeah. Oh.
Correct.
So she's sleeping for 45 years. And then she'll wake up when it gets to point B, but the Phi that knows everything will then be back to point A. Huh? So that's why she didn't look old. So why don't you just stick me in one of those pods?
We can't do that.
Why not?
You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project.
Yeah.
After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines.
Easy. That's not a big ask.
Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph. And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets. You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the 3rd AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out.
Yeah.
And you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
Yeah. And then I change history? Do you really think I can keep the virus from getting out?
You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die.
So that's just another little thing we're going to figure out in the next 45 years.
Only you and Phi can save them.
What about you? Aren't you an Esper too?
I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I'll need your help.
Okay. Oh my god! So, what do I need to do?
What do you mean?
Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to point A, what are we gonna do then?
You'll both enter the Mars mission test site.
And after that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Oh crap. Then we're screwed.
That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility. Things will be difficult, and I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger. But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Wait. How do you know it's so dangerous?
The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus.
Oh my god.
So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
Are we, like, my brain cannot comprehend. Is this a never-ending loop until we fix it? It is, right? That's how it works. What did I say?
That the test facility is full of traps. There was one point, a woman's life was in danger.
Is this Zero Time Dilemma? Is this what Zero Time Dilemma is gonna be?
You risked yourself for her sake, and lost your arms, and your right eye.
Oh, okay. That's when... See? There had to be a reasonable explanation why we lost our arms. My arms and my right eye? What the hell? We knew about the cybernetic arms. I suppose we haven't developed the cybernetic part yet. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the building. Ooh, what was that?
Go have a look.
I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. On the horizon, I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly toward the sky. It's freaking terrifying. Would we really be able to change the course of history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening skies above us and steeled myself. I would succeed. Holy shit. Is that the end? End or beginning? Oh my god. My brain. I have got that right, haven't I? About it being a loop. I think that's what she was explaining, right? My brain. I'm stressed. Okay, okay. Oh my god. End all beginning. So... Right, it's gonna take me a while to understand some of this stuff, I'm not gonna lie. But I was like that with 999 too. As soon as I'd finished that, I was like, huh? But yeah, I know it makes sense. I'm like a bit confused about Phi's role in everything. I understand the whole thing of, I think, of the jump in. I am like, the purpose of the game being this is exactly what I thought all like fucking way back, but that I didn't know how to articulate. But this is exactly what it was. I thought we were gonna have to go back and prevent it. Like, I am absolutely buzzing that I got that right. I didn't expect that it would be us that was zero, but like the whole game, like, you had no reason to question what we looked like. So that was like a twist. Also, it makes all of the horrible pervy flirting so much worse. But it's cool to know how we lost our arms and shit. It was a lot. It was a lot. Where's my thing? There it is. So like, usually when you press return now, because I sometimes do it by accident, and it'll take you right back to the beginning. Well, back to the beginning. This beginning, I guess. Like, so where does it take you now? What is the beginning? This was before the game. This was way back when. So, oh my god. So, for the entire right thing, K was Akane. See, this is when you have to go back and watch the game again. I didn't notice a difference between how he acted in the different things. But it makes sense to why he looks like us when he's our clone. Obviously. For a second, I honestly thought there was going to be an army of us. Like, we were right instead of left or something like that. But, right, so... Okay, I'm pressing it. So this is actually us jumping. So that was us jumping. That was us jumping to the future, but our old self was coming to the past and taking on the Radical 6 mission. Yeah, that's what happened. That makes sense. And then when it gets to the point of the explosions, we jump back. But where... Oh, and then he jumps back, yeah, back to point C, the top one. So I guess that timeline then is just doomed and we're actually on a new timeline, right? Because then our... So then us that's now gone back to the bomb time, that now has to spend 45 years planning, will then jump back again to have another shot at the thing. If we fail again, we will jump for... Oh my god. My brain. My brain. So I've had a little break and I've done a couple of little bits where I've gone around mopping up, like I'd missed a poster in one of the rooms and stuff, so I've gone around and done that. And I have found out, I knew there's a little bit more to do, but I didn't know how to access it. And I have actually discovered, watch this. Well, I haven't discovered, I've been told. So here's Fi's ending. You just gotta scroll down. It's right here. So let's do this final section. I think this is the actual final section this time. Infirmary, another time. What is this? I don't have a clue what this actually is, but I really want to find out. Oh god, we're in the... right.
Where?
I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
Kyle? Clone, right? K.
Kyle.
Ah, yes. Of course. You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
I lurched upright, jumped off the bed and ran around to the other side of the partition. The mirror of the sink was covered with a film of dirt. I wiped it off with my sleeve, and my reflection stared back at me. There was no mistake. The reflection belonged to...
Kyle Klein. So, I'm Dr. Klein? Zero Senior's clone?
What? How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
What? An excellent question, one I didn't quite know the answer to myself. I knew who Kyle was. In another history, he had been called K and had worn a suit of armor. He hadn't just worn the armor in that history though. Apparently he'd worn it all his life. Kyle had been born and raised in this lunar installation, which seemed to be called Rhizome 9. Rather late in his life, Akane had appeared as a mother figure and had consequently grown very attached to her. I knew everything about him, but even though I knew it, I didn't feel it. Was I really Kyle Klein? Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw his face. The spitting image of Sigma Klein in his younger days. Klein? I don't know if I'm saying that right. I looked down. There was Dio, still handcuffed. I turned back around to Luna.
What day is today?
January 27th, 2074.
Today is the last day of the AB project. Akane has explained everything in the garden. And she drew a knife and attacked Phi. How long have I been asleep?
Is this the one that was asleep there? Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, okay.
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
Oh no. I don't know.
So they still haven't been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral. It just takes a while to have an effect.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past.
Yeah.
It should have happened right after Akane attacked Phi, right?
Yes,
Why am I here?
the doctor carried you back here. You were in the pod in the garden.
Yeah.
So the person you call the doctor is Sigma Climb, as inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Hasn't you call the doctor?
Yes, but how do you know that?
Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
Yes. I've been administering Soparil whenever he gets restless.
What about the others?
They've all gone off to different areas. Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
Oh, right. Mr. Klein.
So the sleepyhead's finally up, huh?
What are you two doing here?
You don't know where we are?
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber. The real one.
Mm-hmm.
We were just about to get dressed and head out.
You plan to return then? To Earth, I mean.
Yeah.
Are they just gonna go?
Sigma told us where we could find the shuttle that brought us here. Well, guess he's not really the Sigma I knew anymore. He's Dr. Klein now, or Zero Senior, depending on how you look at it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, I'm just curious why you would choose to return to a devastated planet when you could stay here.
How's staying here gonna help? You aren't gonna say something idiotic about how we should wait here until Sigma changes the past, are you? You can't wait for something that's already happened.
I was gonna say, even if we succeed, this timeline is still the same, right?
Grammar doesn't work that way. Hell, nature doesn't work that way. You following me? We've already lived through history. Sigma failed to keep the virus from getting out. About 45 years ago, Radical 6 created a pandemic, and the antimatter reactors blew up. That all happened. Whatever Sigma does in the past, history's not gonna change.
Yeah.
In fact, it's because of what he did, or didn't do in the past, that we've got this past and present.
Oh dear.
Let me give you an example. Imagine a group of 100 motorcycles driving down an endless freeway.
Okay.
Eventually, they hit a junction. The road splits in two. One freeway continues off northwest, and the other stretches out to the northeast. So one guy, we'll call him S, pipes up. "Let's go northwest," he says. So they take the northwestern road, but about a mile past the intersection, something horrible happens. A semi driving the other way veers into their lane and plows through the bikers. 90 of them die.
Well, okay.
The surviving 10 are wounded, but survive. They don't stop, though. They keep riding down that highway, and eventually they'd gone 10,000 miles. Then suddenly, something happens that they couldn't have predicted. S, who had survived, suddenly has his consciousness thrown back in time. He ends up back in his own body just before they reach the junction. He remembers everything. So what does S do?
goes the other way, but that only saves those people from the other timeline, right?
What anybody would do. Let's go northeast. That means all 100 of the bikers survive to reach their destination, happy and healthy. And they all live happily ever after. That's what you're thinking, right? It's a great outcome for the 100 bikers that went northeast. But what about the 10 that went northwest and survived the accident?
Huh? Wouldn't it be 9 people? I mean, S's mind went back in time, right?
Right.
Quark's smart.
Okay, 9 people then. What happens to the reality they were living? Does it just disappear when S changes the past? It's not as if it was only bad things that happened during that 10,000-mile trip. Maybe one of them fell in love with a woman working at a gas station they stopped at and had a child. Maybe one of them picked up a homeless kid who joined them on their adventure.
Aww.
That 10,000-mile journey would be full of stories. Friendships, farewells, romances. The loss of those 90 lives is horrible and unfortunate. But what would rewriting their history mean?
Oh, so he wouldn't even want to, even if he could, because that would mean he wouldn't have Quark.
The 9 who survived lived full lives. How can it be right to just erase all that? The survivors overcame their own misery and loss and made the best they could of the hand they'd been dealt. Isn't that worth something?
Yeah, it is actually.
Isn't that the best thing that humans can aspire to? Is there really any point to a world where everything is happy? Are people who struggle for a better life just idiots? Being human is about fighting, even when it seems hopeless, and finding happiness, even in a world that hates it. Are you saying that's worthless? If you're saying rewriting the past will erase all these other timelines, then whatever God wrote those rules can Look, I'm just not going to accept that, all right? You get it?
I get it. I respect that.
If Sigma changes the past, then you and Quark will never meet.
Is he right?
Quark might even not be born.
No. It's not going to happen. We're here right now. This is reality. Even if Sigma does change the past, we're not just going to disappear or something.
Oh! Then that means we get to stay together?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, he's so cute.
Thanks, Kit.
I understand how you feel. Why you want to return to Earth is clear. You have lives there, I imagine. There are likely people waiting for you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Have you already said goodbye to the others?
Bye, Luna, Alice, and Clover all saw us off. We told them we'd see them again someday, and then came here.
They were the only people you want to say goodbye to?
Well, no point saying anything to Dio.
Besides, he's asleep. You were asleep too.
Sorry, but we didn't really know much about you.
You have a point. Akane was in the armor in this timeline, after all. What about Sigma?
Well, he's not really Mr. Sigma anymore.
Of course. He is Dr. Klein now that his consciousness has returned.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's the guy who brought us all here. Not a lot of warm feelings there, you know?
And Akane?
Never mind her. She's just like him. Not the Akane I knew.
Oh dear.
She must have seen some pretty awful things over the years. Hell, she might not even be human anymore.
Wow.
But the Akane Kurashiki I know isn't here. She's not anywhere.
Wow.
In the end, Clover and I were just pawns.
That was I mean, I understand, but also it's a bit harsh when if he's talking about like she's not human and stuff because of all the death in these games and stuff like that. I mean, they haven't seen the death in this timeline. And it's the whole thing where some suffering to save everyone type of thing, right? Not sure. But that's fair enough. That's his feelings. And at least he's got closure, I guess. Okay.
Pawns to be used and then gotten rid of. Still, it's not like we're completely resentful. We had to be here to help change the past. That part's easy to understand. But
Kinda sucks, though. I mean, Sigma and Phi have it easy.
What?
They get to go back to December 25th in 2028.
Oh, easy.
They'll stop the Radical Six and save the world, and then they'll have a nice, normal future to look forward to. In other words, they get to go back to Point E and just enjoy history like it was supposed to happen.
I mean, only if they succeed.
But we don't. We're stuck with Point C as our starting point.
You told us about Tenmyoji's story, right? The one with the motorcycles? It would be like if Alice and I were kidnapped right before the intersection. Then whoever grabbed us takes us to wherever the bikers are going, 10,000 miles to the northwest.
Don't get us wrong. We know why we had to be here. Without us, S's consciousness wouldn't have been able to go back to right before the intersection.
If that couldn't happen, then the fate of those 90 dead bikers would be sealed. But
It's still not the best situation for those of us left in the Northwest.
Yeah, that's gotta suck to realize like everyone you ever knew is probably like, well, old and dead and gone. And so is the world. Like, and now everything they lived for is like over. But maybe not, because I think they could still make a difference here. Like, this is still just a valid timeline as well. Like, the cult is still a thing. I mean, they got Dio, the leader of the Myrmidons. Like, that's a start. There's work to be done here.
We're stuck in the reality where the 90 bikers died.
are we just supposed to go live on Earth? It's a wasteland now. And what about our friends and families? We left a whole world behind 45 years ago.
Even if it is for the greater good?
It just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
So we went and talked to the old lady.
She told us that there
The old
is
lady
one
still.
way.
One way we could get back to the past.
Let's say you do go back to the past.
What's the one way?
Wouldn't that cause your minds to get thrown back here? That seemed to be how Sigma and Phi's jumps worked, at least.
Yes, you're right.
But this is different.
Different. How so?
From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time, too.
That's ridiculous. It would create a paradox. How could you have two Clovers and two Alices at the same time?
But that wouldn't happen.
Akane says there's a way around that.
How on earth does she plan to do that?
Schrodinger's?
Cat.
Oh, hey, Kyle.
Oh yeah, that answers that then. Huh? What? So she plans to send... Oh my god, I don't know. Okay. Hey, Phi.
Figured you'd come here eventually.
Where's Dr. Klein? Luna said you were with him.
He said he was tired, so he's off resting right now. There's a bedroom at the end of the hallway. He's in there if you're curious. Oh, right. He told me to turn on this hologram projector thing when you showed up. Want me to start it?
So which Phi is this? I don't know. I am lost with Phi's situation.
Sure.
isn't anything in particular that I have to tell you. However, I imagine there are a great number of things weighing on your mind. I'd love to answer all your questions, but unfortunately, my circumstances make that an impossibility. I hope you can forgive me. Everything I know, Phi should also know. I have instructed her to answer any questions anyone might have. Anyone other than Kyle, that is.
What?
What does he mean, other than Kyle?
Who knows? Is there anything you want to ask?
Oh, right, well, I guess I may as well cut to the chase. Just who are you, Phi?
I'm not Superman, that's for sure. And I'm not Batman or Spider-Man or Aquaman or a merman or a wolfman.
Okay. Good to know.
I'm not a Brahmin or common or ramen. I'm not a Cayman either, so you really don't need to worry about anything.
What?
Please don't dodge the question.
Oh, God.
About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife. That triggered something which sent your mind back to the past, correct? Specifically, you were sent to Point D, April 13th, 2029.
Right.
On that date, your body was already in Akane's custody.
Yeah.
Although by then you were in cold sleep. You wouldn't have regained consciousness, but your mind was now inhabiting that body. That pod was your home for 45 years. You slept there, frozen, until the time was right. Then on January 25th, 2074, you were finally thawed out.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't wake up. Still unconscious, you were carried to the AB room. That was when your consciousness changed bodies again. A version of you from December 25th, 2028 arrived, pushing you out.
And then that sent her back to December 25th. This her. No, the one that's already done the whole game.
And sending you back to December 25th, 2028. This is when you finally woke up. In 2028, you found and joined forces with Sigma, whose older mind was inhabiting his younger body.
Yeah.
Together, you attempted to infiltrate the Mars mission test facility. Fortunately, your plan failed. The Radical Six did escape on New Year's Eve. That failure determined the path you followed. Instead of going along the line that branches out to the right from Point E, you headed straight to Point D.
Yeah.
Point D being April 13th of the following year. That was the day that you made your way to Akane's hideout and asked to be put into one of the treatment pods.
Yeah.
Another consciousness enters your body around that time from the future. It is, of course, the version of you that left your body when Akane attacked you in the garden. This caused the two versions of you to swap places. You moved 45 years into the future, where you woke up on the garden floor.
Oh my God.
That put you on the line that comes here. So if we discount the time you spent in cold sleep, for you, only 3.5 months have passed since that happened. That being when you were sent back into the past from the garden.
3.5 months have passed.
Have I missed anything?
No, everything you talked about you got right.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I'm kind of an unknown variable in this equation. You could think of me as a kind of X factor. It's taken me the last 3.5 months to understand it.
What?
I haven't understood anything in the last 3.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Could you please explain?
It's kind of like the relationship between classical mechanics and modern physics. Strictly speaking, you can't combine velocities with v1 plus v2. v1 plus v2 divided by 1 plus v1 times v2 over c squared is the actual equation.
What?
Of course, the sort of velocities we encounter in day-to-day life don't come close to being c squared, which is the speed of light squared. That means that 1 plus v1 times v2 divided by c squared is usually going to evaluate to something pretty close to 1.
I have no fucking idea what the hell you're talking about.
Since that would mean dividing by 1, it's usually okay to just skip that step and use v1 plus v2. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely not.
In most situations, it works, even if it isn't technically correct. So you knew enough to get the stuff you were talking about right. As long as you stick to that, you won't run into any problems.
What?
I don't quite understand. In fact, I feel like you're dodging my questions.
So is that what you wanted to ask about?
No. What I really want to know is what happened between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028.
Yeah.
You and Sigma infiltrated the Mars mission test site, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened there? How did Sigma lose his eye and both his arms? And why was Radical 6 in there in the first place? What could a deadly virus have to do with the simulated mission to space?
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
Why?
Because it would change history.
What?
There is a history where the virus didn't escape. That's the line that goes to the right of point E. In that timeline, humanity isn't heading for annihilation, and Earth isn't red. The future is much brighter. But if I tell you what you're asking me right now, then that reality will disappear.
Why?
You understand?
No.
I don't. Why would all of that disappear if you told me what I want to know?
You're about to go back to the past, right?
The past? Don't be silly. I can't do that.
Think we can.
Then where the hell did you learn all this stuff? I just listened to you tell me a bunch of things you shouldn't have known about. You were sleeping in the pod in the garden. You just woke up. So how can you know all this? You know my past. Sigma's past.
I shall give you your answer.
Oh, God.
You are not Kyle Klein. Your body is Kyle's, but your consciousness is not. Think about it. Do you really believe you're Kyle?
No, he said this at the start.
Or could you be someone else entirely?
Then, where is the real Kyle's consciousness?
He was thrown out when you entered. Right now, in a manner of speaking, he has arrived at December 25th, 2028. His consciousness has gone into a body from that time. I doubt you know how much the Doctor loves Kyle. He raised him on his own. Kyle is irreplaceable. Do you really think he would go back to the past and leave Kyle behind here? I know what I told the others, that Kyle was Dr. Klein's spare, but that was not his only purpose. Kyle's consciousness is integral to what we are trying to accomplish. This new mission begins on Christmas and ends on New Year's Eve 2028. Its purpose will be to infiltrate the test facility and prevent the spread of the virus. For this to happen, Kyle is absolutely necessary.
And that is why he created him?
Yes.
So now that my consciousness has entered his body, the doctor has achieved his objective. Kyle has gone back to 2028 to participate in his mission.
Correct.
There's one thing that troubles me. Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D.
Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D. Yeah.
That means his body did not exist on Christmas in 2028.
Oh yeah.
Does that mean he has entered my body? Have we just switched places?
I suppose you could put it that way, yes.
That's ridiculous. What's going to happen to me? You're telling me I have to spend the rest of my life here in this box, living in a borrowed body?
No, not at all. You can travel freely through time and space. You are an uncontrolled variable that entered our closed system. As such, the rules of this world do not apply to you.
I have no idea what...
Please don't try to play dumb. I know what you are. Surely you must know by now, too. You are about to go into the past and save the world. Phi and Sigma, even with all of his future knowledge, will need your help.
I'm so confused.
Only you can right the horrible wrongs of our past. Only you can save the world.
There's no way I...
Yes, there is. You have to. Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to know what happened in between Christmas and New Year's Eve
Yeah, I
in
really do.
2028?
I really do.
Well, yes, I do, but...
Then you must believe. Reality is shaped by what we believe reality should be. If observation can change the motion of a particle, then how is it odd to think that human thought can shape reality? Your will can change history. The world will be reshaped into the one you imagine. Remember what I've told you. Only you can change history. Only you can save the world.
Oh. Alternative end? Who will be there then? You found it! Trophy end. Sweet. Oh, I could cry, but I'm done. I'm really sad. Oh no, that was the platinum. It's all done. Oh. One last save. So, we can talk a little bit about what just happened at the end there, but I don't really know what to say about it. Because I'm not exactly sure what happened. So, we looked in the mirror. We were Kyle. We were Sigma's clone. But we didn't feel like them. We knew all the stuff. But the Sigma that we were has already gone back to... Oh my god. Has already gone back to point... Oh my god. Went back to the day of the thing. Why did we go back to after instead of going back to the beginning? Oh, because other guy had failed. Oh my god. This is... I'm really clearing things up for you guys, hey. I don't know is the answer. Because I was like... She's saying only you can do it. We were about to jump again, but this was months afterwards. But like, yeah, I'm still a bit lost off with Fi. I'm still a bit lost off with the timelines because I thought I had the timeline figured out. But then they're saying that like Kyle went back with Sigma to do the mission as well. And he's integral to it. But he didn't have a body back then. So he's gone into the person, whoever we are. But whoever we are knew everything. So what the fuck? I'm a little bit confused. But anyway. Holy shit, that's VLR finished? How? Like, oh my god, it did get wild. Like, it was already wild the whole way through. And now I'm just like, whoa. I really like the whole idea of the consciousnesses swapping. That's really cool. I mean, I'm assuming that Zero Time Dilemma is gonna answer. Because this isn't, like, this story is not finished. Like, this feels like the beginning of something, you know? So, I'm assuming Zero Time Dilemma is gonna deal with whatever happens in that. Like, in that facility or whatever, but I know that... What do I know? Technically, there should be 3 people in it, right? A version of Phi, a version of Sigma, a version of Kyle. Is that how that works? Oh my god. I am not sure. And I am very intrigued to find out. So I'm going to take a little break. Wow, a little break. I'm going to play something else on recording for a little bit. But by the time this comes out on video, I should have already started Zero Time Dilemma anyway. So there won't be a break in the videos. The goal is just, my schedule will continue the same. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. And we'll just go straight onto Zero Time Dilemma. You won't even know I've had a gap. So, that's the plan going forward. And I feel like I'm just finding it hard to talk back. Because now it's like, what's going to happen next? But, alright, so overall, I feel like, I don't remember if I've kind of spoke about this before already, but I just feel like VLR was so good, and it took everything that 999 did well, and improved on it, and it took everything that 999 didn't do well, and fixed it. You know what I mean? So, it's like, and I'm just really impressed with how well thought out the stories are and how deep it all goes. It's so complex. And it doesn't have to be that complex. Like, but they make it that way, and it just blows my mind. And I'm just super impressed with it all. They try and find reasons for everything that happens and stuff like that. Like everybody was there for. I like that. It was kind of like an epilogue, wasn't it? At the end there, where it went round each character and kind of said what they were doing. I like that. I liked how it. I mean, it's linked back to 999, but it's also like. Huh? To me, it's like, it's so interesting. It's quite a non-traditional sequel, isn't it? And I've just enjoyed every second of it. It's just been like so much fun to try and like question what was happening, and I find it easier to get into the smaller mysteries rather than the big overall mysteries. Like, the thing is, you've got this whole big overall mystery that's just all been revealed going on that you didn't even know was going on, but yet throughout the game there was so many other mysteries that were also very good, like all the murder mysteries, and then the way they constructed the whole game so that you couldn't get too much information without having done the other timelines because they were locked. And the fact that makes sense for the story, because Sigma would just jump. Like, it's quite rare and great how it all comes together and makes sense. And, well, I'm saying makes sense. I'm not talking about the ending, even though I know that makes sense too. I'm talking about how the mechanics of the game make sense within the story. That's like really impressive. I thought the characters were fun. I thought that I really liked the voice acting, especially for Dio. Dio was great. Dio, fuck Dio, but Dio was funny. What a great, like, it's a great character when you love to hate them, in my opinion. I mean, it could just be because of my experience with how the game went, but I loved to hear that guy. There was like many different ways that, like, different orders that you could get the endings, not the end, well, yeah, the endings, but the branches. And I think just based on who you chose to go with, right? And I think I'm happy that mine was like the top order that I would have chose to get them all in. In fact, I'm very happy about that, because I feel like I got a lot of big reveals on my last branch that I would have not been able to forget about if I'd had that on my mind the whole time with the other branches. Whereas I got to question things more because I didn't know things. Like, I didn't know that Dio was a bad guy for a long time. May have been obvious to everyone else, but it really kept the suspense going. You know, I didn't know anything about a lot of the characters. I didn't know about the robots. That, like, there was just so much that didn't get revealed till near the end. And it's just so well thought out. I love that we went back to before the thing and saved her, and that's why she wasn't dead that time. And it only happens when we've come from that timeline. Like, that's just so cool. It's very, very well constructed, and I've, honest to God, enjoyed every second of it, and I'm really, really, really sad that it's over. And I'm like, I'm going to jump into Zero Time Dilemma. It's going to be a bit different because I've got that one on PC. This has been on PlayStation, obviously. So the next one's going to be on PC, which, I mean, it's not going to be different for you, but it's going to be a bit of a different experience for me. Maybe a bit easier. No stupid parallelogram puzzles on controller. But, nah, it's... I'm excited, but I'm not like... I'm going to go into it with an open mind, as usual, because I'd rather have low expectations and then have them exceeded, rather than I'll be like, this is going to be the best game ever. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be like, I can't wait to see what happens. So, But first, before I even do that, I need to figure out what this game meant. So that's what I'm going to go and do now. So, thank you so much for the people that watch. Thank you so much for everybody's support. This has been a series that I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm so glad that I've finally got round to it. It has taken a long time, and visual novels are not the easiest to do, but it's been like an absolute joy. I mean, it's voiced, so it's not that bad. But, oh my god, I've been talking for so long, my controller's disconnected. But I've enjoyed every second of it, and I really appreciate that like people have been watching and enjoying it and getting into it, and yeah, I've just loved every second. So thank you so much, and we will be back for Zero Time Dilemma very soon. Oh, one last thing that I forgot to mention, I'll be back with one more bonus episode because I want to look through those secret files that we never read. That's totally optional. People don't need to watch that, obviously. But I'm going to do that anyway because I think it'll be fun. I want to go and look and see what the files say and stuff like that. So, thank you so much. Bye!